Strap in, gang, because we are now in the second half of the Earth War. This is Aliens Volume 2, Issue 2 of 4. And I love this cover. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the old school, the 6 issues, but I just love these painted, like, heavy metal cover style. It's just absolutely fantastic. This was just like the peak of comic art back in the day before digital art really took over the traditional work here. Last issue, the American finally landed on Base 3. This is General Spears. Print date on this was December 1989. Script, Mark Verheiden. Art, Denis, Beauvais. Lettering, David Jackson. Pump the inboard navigational files into the base system. I want a time-coded hard copy of the flight log in 15 minutes. Those things attacked us. We were lucky to survive. That's not luck. That's sedition. And so I love how we get this log while General Spears is talking to Hicks and Newt. And we don't know who the logger is. It says log on. Eyes only. Override clearance. A1 required. All we have is a name. Lieutenant Eugene Powell, USCMC. In light of recent events, I have opened a daily log to summarize my assessment of Base Commander Spears' fitness for duty. My R&D people needed those specimens. It was a chance to study possible mutations brought on by the creature's exposure to multiple human strains. Put them in the isolation. Monitors in full prism spectrography. If they're infected, we may salvage something from this mission yet. Jesus, don't you understand? Earth's gone. I realize these notes can be construed as mutinous, even traitorous. But it has fallen to me to keep some sort of record. And while they're being drug off, I just love how General Spears has this look on his face like he's just the bee's knees. And then, remember, last issue, the ending was him standing in front of Hicks and Newt with these alien pods in the background. Then we see the scope here with the broken pods. And just everyone just nonchalantly going about their day like it's just another day on the base. At 0900 hours, I relieved Lieutenant Bainbridge and took over as duty officer in the main habitat. I observed General Spears alone near one of the containment vessels. He seemed to be watching them. At 10:23 hours, I overheard the general mutter something under his breath. He was smiling as he said it, repeating himself several times. Perfection. Perfection. And what really kind of trips me out, so we've all seen alien hives, and we see how all the innards and whatnot gets strewn on the ground. You just see how man's cabling, basically just that those parallels. I just love the idea of it, and just the color palette, the blues and the whites and the grays, and then the dark grittiness of the military green just makes this whole composition pop. Love it. And now the person logging, we finally get to see who they are. The general's behavior has been erratic for months, but I noticed a marked change for the worse with the arrival of the cargo vessel from Earth. 2 humans and a damaged synthetic had commandeered the ship at launch. During the voyage, they somehow destroyed a cluster of Spears incubating specimens. And so we see him logging, Spears admiring the aliens. I had never seen the general so angry, so disappointed. Goes from viewing to touching. The stowaway lost communication soon after launch and come to believe Earth's alien plague had been destroyed by an all-out nuclear attack around those bombs. None of that was any concern to General Spears. So we getting pulled off. Now, keep this in mind because this is important. They get pulled by a transmitter room. I'm afraid, Daddy. The monsters might hear us. They might try to hurt us like they hurt Ricky and Earthsat. Spears techies have been monitoring the civilian satellites since we established the base. What the hell keeps them off hard duty? That's impossible. We lost contact with Earth. What the hell? Harker, grab the girl. Don't leave me, Daddy, please. And so we see this little girl, kind of like a new Newt. Just keep that in mind. The general's obsession with the alien has clouded his reason. He answers to no authority but his own. The prisoners could have provided important information about Earth, about our future. Instead, Spears has quarantined them for use as alien breeding stock. I've seen enough killing. It has to stop. The general has his loyalists, but it's only a matter of time before there's open rebellion. And God help us when it starts. Log off. And I read that so y'all kind of get an idea of who General Spears is. But when he says there might be open rebellion, we cut to 3 Marines who are essentially wanting to get off the base. They want to get off this planet. They want to go AWOL. They don't like what they see on base 3. They want the hell off. They're trying to ration. There's supposed to be a civilian outpost on this planet that was supposed to become their like terraformers, essentially. And so one of their friends comes by and goes, "Hey, Renless," or yeah, Renless, I think is how you pronounce his name. "Coming to keep me company?" "Better. I'm relieving you. Sergeant Decker wants you to check the circulation pumps on D level. We're showing red on 3 chambers. Figures they let it go red before bringing me up. Give me a second to punch up the commander and..." "Sorry, Bobby." Bam! Kill someone he knows. And that's how devoted they are to getting the hell off this planet. And when they break out, I love how the planet has that very much Acheron, Hadley Hope feel with the rain. Even the what do you call it? The actual geological landscape looks the same. And then the crawler. I mean, I'm sure it's standard issue, but I just love the little homages and the focus on detail, because that looks like the one that Newt and her family used to go check out the Juggernaut or the Derelict, whatever you want to call it. Now, our heroes finally get a stroke of luck. Powell finds a partial disc on Hicks and what happened at Acheron. But in the meantime, Newt has another vision, another nightmare. And we start to notice that anytime Newt is near any type of aliens, she has these very lucid, terrifying dreams. And the artwork here just intensifies it by 1,000. I mean, look at the way she's held down. And we get that mixture. Remember how I was talking about Spears's research chamber a moment ago? Look here, how we have the mixture of, instead of like the aliens watching someone being given a face hugger, we actually get humans. And then, of course, the queen lumbering over Newt, and the mixture of organic and techno. Ugh. And she actually kind of realizes what's happening. She says here, "I could hear a strange roaring, distant and ethereal. Something wet was pressing against my legs. I tried to lift my head, but sharp straps were cutting into my throat. And then I heard myself scream. They needed specimens. She needed me." And these visuals, my God, guys, these are horrifically beautiful. She comes out of it, and Spears has them at a table. It looks like some sort of really normal conversation. "The corporal tells me your friends call you Newt. I hope we can be friends. I must apologize for all that's happened. We've all been suffering under great stress. It's easy to forget the amenities. When Lieutenant Powell brought your special abilities to my attention, I realized I had made a serious mistake. We never intended to impede your scientific mission, General. What exactly is your objective? When Arona's people brought us to one of those nascent queens, we were frightened by its power. Then it seemed to speak to me. And once I knew its true beauty. And so these visors open to a hive on the base. In the dining room to just show the level that Spears is on. Look at them. Look at them. The fools on Earth wanted to annihilate them. Nuclear devastation. My God, I couldn't permit it. Corporal Hicks. Previous assignment the Benedict, and before that the Sulaco. You faced the alien on its own soil and survived. How I envy you. We're so frail, so weak compared to them. They have the strength and power of true soldiers. They demonstrate an unquestioning, unanswering loyalty to their cause. All they lack is proper direction, leadership. I can provide that. I can make them into an army. I can use them to reclaim Earth from their brethren. And remember those eyes. Just kind of keep that in mind about Spears. And this pissed me off when I got this in the mail. I'm wondering if this is a print error. You guys just entertain me here for a minute. Because if you look at the book, the staples aren't detached or rotting. And when you look at this page that fell out, I mean, I guess it could be from age that this just kind of nonchalantly slipped out. If you look at this inside here, you see this, unless the jackass that sold these to me at one time in history had these open and then slammed the staples back down. So yeah, I need to get some new copies because that irks my girt. But anyway, that aside, Spears is, what do you call it? He's, sorry, that totally threw off my vibe. Spears is notified of the AWOLs. He goes, son of a bitch. I want a fully armed assault team on the speeder deck in 5 minutes. Now, if you read the novelization, when we're in this scene and he's talking to Wilkes and Billy, Lieutenant Powell comes in and addresses the AWOLs. And Spears, to a degree, just says, oh, that. And Powell goes, sir? He goes, this is my base after all, Powell. I try to keep up. Basically showing the level of paranoia. And here I'm kind of a little disappointed that that's not in here, because that would have been great to just show the level of control freak and hyper paranoia that is General Spears. But anyway, it's Newt's survival on Acheron and Hicks's survival on Acheron as well, for lack of a better term, that saves their ass. And while they're staring at the Queen and the Queen's staring at them, he goes, Newt, listen, we're only alive so long as Spears needs us. So he gives them full range of the base. She goes back to communications, and this is where we're introduced to Amy and her grandpa. She goes, I saw a little girl. I saw myself. It's worse at night. Can't see them. You can only hear the screams. And they would say, military bastards! We usually avoid the buildings. Too many places for those things to hide. Of course, nothing's really safe anymore. I don't want to run anymore. I want to go home. I know you do, honey. That's all any of us want. Now, basically what happens is they said at first they thought that he said, I used to think they were flying reconnaissance missions. Now I think they're just having fun. And when they do one of their assaults, they lose the feed. So Newt says, I saw a little girl, and I saw me. Hicks meets Lieutenant Powell. And he goes, he's insane, you know. No, I don't know. Tell me about him. And before we can see what's going to happen there, we jump to the AWOLs going to the civilian outpost. And this guy says, something's wrong. I'm not getting any signals. Not even the standard beacon. They zeroed their beacons a week ago. Spears has sorry, I can't talk now. Spears could have used it to home in and flash their colony without breaking a sweat. Maybe we could get some sort of asylum, you know, like political prisoners. Yeah, and after that we could run for president. We're AWOL. We don't need asylum. We need a ship. And I'll do whatever it takes to get one. So they think that the colonists are going to welcome these guys in with open arms. But instead, they walk into yet another hive. How do these aliens get out of the base? Why are they allowed to roam free on this planet near a military post? Spears comes in. He goes, "You filthy traitor. We were working towards something better, something stronger. And all you could do was try and destroy it. Help me. Look at you, so pathetic, so weak. Makes me feel good to hear you beg. No, don't put me back in there with them. No!" And as the door slams shut, we see Spears smiling. Oh, lot to unpack in issue 2, guys. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever it is like to get your action figures and comics and pick up this series. And I also recommend supporting your local library or bookstore and picking up the novelizations as well. If you've enjoyed this review, really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel more than you could possibly know. And if you don't mind hitting that fancy little alien bell next subscribe, that way we can upload content. You guys get notified. Come to the channel, and I love talking with y'all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments or the socials, which I'll make sure the links down in the description. Additionally, if you guys enjoy what I do and you'd like to help support the channel, I have also left a PayPal tip jar link down in the description. And if not, I still appreciate you stopping by and checking out the video. Either way, hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, everyone.